Just ahead on CTV News. Today we hear from the new acting county executive.
I have been in public service for almost 20 years, and I have always had one focus, and that is to do the right thing.
Plus,
the suspect in the killing of a beloved community figure has his day in court. I'm Mariah Jalad. I'll have that story coming up on CTV News.
And Simon Buggs has highlights from the Terps' big game. Those stories and more on CTV News, starting now.
Good evening, I'm Michaela Newman. Thanks so much for joining us for CTV News on December 4th. In our top story tonight, while the county awaits the date of its upcoming 2025 special election, which will determine the next county executive for the next several months, Prince George's will be led by the acting county executive. Her name is Tara Jackson, and she comes with more than 20 years of experience in public service. Now, CTV's Katira Jones has more on Jackson, who is now the newest face of the county.
I certainly am not new to public service, and I plan on continuing to work hard, as I've done throughout my career, to support the citizens, to support the residents and the visitors to Prince George's County.
For the next several months, Prince Georgians will get to know Tara Jackson, the acting county executive. As she embarks the early days of her administration, she made one thing clear. She has no plans to run to be the next county executive.
I believe that I'm here to maintain the stability of the government and to help us transition smoothly when a new county executive is elected.
Jackson was appointed to the position by former county executive Angela Alsobrooks when she resigned to join the U.S. Senate. She was previously the county's chief administrative officer. Now, with her new job, Jackson could potentially run the county for the next 6 months.
We are certainly in challenging economic times. You all have heard from the state. I think we're facing a deficit of about $150 million right now for FY26, a projected deficit.
As the temporary top leader of the county, she will have to navigate some tough issues on the horizon. One of those issues is the possibility of the Washington Commanders moving its stadium back to the district. If the move happens, it will greatly impact the county economy.
I want the team to stay too. I am a lifelong Prince Georgian, grew up rooting for the Commanders, have been in stadium in the District of Columbia, as well as certainly our stadium here. I think we have the better site.
Jackson is only 3 days into a role as acting county executive, but indicated that she is ready to face whatever is ahead. Katira Jones, CTV News.
Meanwhile, Jackson says she is hopeful that the new FBI headquarters will move to Greenbelt and that the county will continue to prepare for its arrival. And the suspect in a homicide case that shocked the local community over the holiday weekend sits before a judge for the first time. Mariah Jalad is at the county courthouse with more. Mariah?
That's right, Michaela. The suspect in the killing of mental health advocate Cornelius McDonald appears in court today, and he'll be held with no bond. 35-year-old Terrell Bailey faces multiple charges, including first-degree murder for the shooting outside Jasper's restaurant last Saturday. According to these charging documents, Bailey and McDonald did not know each other prior to that night. They got into a loud verbal argument in the restaurant that escalated to the point that officers had to escort Bailey out of the restaurant. And according to witnesses, he waited outside for McDonald to pay his check, and when he left, the suspect allegedly shot McDonald multiple times, leading to his death. Bailey then ran from the scene. Today in court, his defense tried to argue that Bailey was acting in self-defense. He was legally able to carry that handgun, but the judge ultimately decided that he needed to be held with no bond. It also came out in court today that Bailey, who lives in the district, works as a contract police officer in the city, and allegedly, according to prosecutors, he posted a video on social media bragging about the shooting after the death of McDonald. His next appearance in court is set for January. I'll be bringing you those updates when we get them. Mariah Jalad, CTV News.
All right, Mariah, thanks so much. And yes, we will keep you all updated on the latest developments. Well, as the race for who will be the next leader of Prince George's is heating up, Jolene Ivey, who's been involved in county politics and state government for years, is looking to be the next top leader of the county. Ivey previously served in the Maryland House of Delegates from 2007 to 2015, representing District 47. She currently serves as the chair of the county council, and Ivey says some challenges the county is facing is the affordability of housing for the growing senior population, among others.
One thing that I am committed to is not increasing the property tax rate. I believe our county residents have been paying the highest taxes in the area, and we do need the money, so I'm not saying that we don't need it, but we can't keep squeezing our residents more. So I won't do that.
And Ivey will face a challenge for the county's top job from State's Attorney Aisha Braveboy and County Council member Calvin Hawkins. Well, the dust is still settling in the wake of yesterday's contentious session in the County Council. Jolene Ivey will remain as chair for now because no one received the required 6 votes. Another vote could be called during the 2025 session in which a new chair could be elected. As for the vice chair, Edward Burrows came out on top after 2 rounds. He says the council needs to move forward.
The things that we should be talking about are, what the council will do to help the people of Prince George's County. And there are several visions for how to accomplish that. It's going to be my job as vice chair, along with my colleagues, to be laser focused on what's in the best interest of the people of Prince George's County, in spite of all of the madness that is happening around us.
And council is back in session on January 7th. Meanwhile, U.S. Senator-elect Angela Alsobrooks has paid off her D.C. property tax bill. It was an issue that made national headlines. Alsobrooks owed more than $49,000 after it came to light that she received tax deductions she did not qualify for on a house she owned in the district for more than 10 years. Now, Alsobrooks said that she was not aware of the issue until it was revealed in the media. In all, she paid more than $47,000, which included a deal from the district that waived a 10% penalty and gave her a 25% break on her total interest. And the U.S. Postal Service delivers record-breaking election mail performance. USPS has released its 2024 post-election analysis report, showcasing a remarkable achievement, processing over 99 million ballots during the general election with an average delivery time of just 1 day. Postmaster General Louis DeJoy praised the agency's extraordinary measures, including special pickups and extra deliveries, ensuring 99% of ballots reached election officials within a week. Now, despite challenges like hurricanes, USPS delivered over 3 billion pieces of political and election mail. And it's no secret that President-elect Donald Trump has promised the nation's largest deportation ever, and with more than 250,000 Marylanders at risk of being caught up in the danger, experts say it will have terrible impacts on families and the state's economy. Now, nearly 150,000 individuals without legal status are employed in Maryland, according to a Washington-based think tank. Governor Wes Moore has expressed his gratitude for immigrant communities and says he is committed to protecting all Marylanders regardless of any actions the new administration takes in immigration policy. And an Alexandria, Virginia bus driver and his alleged accomplice have been arrested in connection with the shooting death of an Oxon Hill woman. Take a look at your screen. Here are the suspects: 37-year-old Carlos Carter and 34-year-old Mary Ashby. The two are accused of shooting and killing 26-year-old Tamara Jones just before Thanksgiving on Oxon Hill Road near Livingston Road. Now, the victim was found in her car at 2:45 in the morning on November 26 with gunshot wounds. Investigators say it appears that Jones was shot during an argument. Now, both were arrested in Virginia and are awaiting extradition to Prince George's County. And we now know the name of one of the suspects wanted for the murder of a 14-year-old girl. 19-year-old Chance Waters is charged with first and second-degree murder of Kamaya Farrell. Waters is one of 4 suspects involved in the fatal shooting of Farrell and 2 adult victims. And the shooting happened at an apartment complex in District Heights on May 31st. The investigation shows that Farrell was hit by a stray bullet and wasn't the intended target. The suspects were targeting a group of people who they had an ongoing feud with. Waters is now in custody at the Department of Corrections. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Michaela Newton. Still to come, local lawmakers are coming together to honor a late senator. Find out how after the break. We'll be right back.
We want to register.
How do you feel?
Welcome back. A Fort Washington teenager is dead after a shooting in the district yesterday. 18-year-old Jeremiah Law was found unconscious and suffering from gunshot wounds outside of a Denny's on Bladensburg Road Northeast. Now, Law was transported to the hospital where he later died. Investigation shows he was shot inside the Denny's bathroom. Now, Metropolitan Police are looking for suspects at this time, and anyone with information on this case is asked to call 202-727-9099. And organized labor in Maryland calls for safer working conditions and higher staffing levels. Members of ASHME rallied yesterday at State Center, which houses the largest concentration of state agencies in Maryland. It's also the location where Legionella bacteria were recently discovered. The union says Maryland has a backlog of maintenance needs in various buildings that make working conditions unsafe. The state confirmed on Monday before Thanksgiving that Legionella was still present at State Center. Now, the union is asking the Moore administration to increase revenues so buildings can be properly maintained and employees can receive higher wages. And advocates for the Office of the Public Defender in Maryland say the office is underfunded and needs a substantial staff boost. The office's most recent support report said they would need to quadruple in size to manage caseloads and not overwork lawyers and staffers. Public defenders represent 90% of criminal defendants in the state, often representing those that can't afford an attorney, like juvenile defendants. However, big changes are unlikely in the next fiscal year as the General Assembly deals with a $2.7 billion deficit. And Maryland lawmakers are uniting to honor the late Senator Paul Sarbanes, a trailblazer in public service. Congressman Steny Hoyer and Glenn Ivey are calling for bipartisan support of a bill to rename the Fort McHenry Visitor and Education Center in Baltimore after Sarbanes. He is best remembered for drafting the first impeachment article against President Nixon and crafting the Sarbanes-Oxley Act, which redefined corporate accountability.
I wouldn't be here today in the House of Representatives without his influence, his guidance, and his assistance to me in my career. It was a tremendous privilege to work for him. It's a tremendous privilege to be able to speak on his behalf today.
Fort McHenry is itself an extraordinary historic site. The rocket's red glare and the bombs bursting in air gave illumination to Fort McHenry. By adding Paul Sarbanes' name to that visitor center at Fort McHenry, it will add further luster to the history of Fort McHenry.
Both Ivey and Hoyer say that naming the visitor center after Sarbanes will cement his legacy where America's national anthem was born. And it's time to find out if Maryland schools made the grade with the annual release of the state's report card, and more than 40% of schools earned a rating of 4 or 5 stars. That's an increase compared to the 2022-2023 school year, including Prince George's County schools. The star rating is based on academic indicators like achievement and progress, but also school quality and student success, including readiness for college for high schools. And the only schools in the county to achieve a 5-star rating were the Academy of Health Sciences at PGCC, Glenarden Woods, and Heather Hills Elementaries, and Robert Goddard Montessori. And the U.S. Department of Education is urging schools nationwide to create clear, consistent policies on student personal device use. Today it released Planning Together, a playbook for student personal device policies, a new guide for education leaders. Now, this resource offers step-by-step practices for developing policies that balance student safety with learning while addressing concerns like phone distractions and social media impacts. With concerns about phones affecting focus, mental health, and sleep, this playbook aims to help schools craft policies that support students as responsible digital citizens. And the new community center opened in Capitol Heights today. The town's municipal building was renovated and repurposed as a community center and will be used for social events for residents in the town. There are also plans for a new virtual career center, and CTV spoke with state and local leaders in attendance.
I've been here for 30 years, and there has been no economic development whatsoever in this town.
We're excited to partner with the town of Capitol Heights to open up our 4th American Job Center Community Network Jobs and Resource Labs, where we're going to have a virtual career center for all the residents that are here and all the job seekers here in Capitol Heights.
And there will be a small fee for residents who plan on using the center for events like bingo night or a baby shower in the future. And still to come on CTV News, a group of local officers have gone from walking the beat to keeping the beat.
A local a cappella group is still going strong in their golden years. I'm Bryce Parker. We'll have more coming up on CTV News.
We all inherit things from our parents. Maybe it's your mom's smile or your dad's eyes. But what if you could inherit something more serious, even deadly?
Our mom was diagnosed with lung cancer over 20 years ago. Thankfully, she's doing well, but she wasn't the only one in our family to be diagnosed with lung cancer.
Our great aunt and uncle, our grandmother, and our great grandfather were all diagnosed with lung cancer too. Unlike breast or colon cancer, the inherited risk for lung cancer hasn't been well researched. The Inherit study aims to change that.
This landmark study seeks to better understand the genetic risk of lung cancer. We joined Inherit to help uncover its origins and families and to improve screening and treatment.
Participation is easy, it can be done from home and takes very little time. For more information, please go to goto.org/inherit today.
Thanks for sticking with us. Reamer Shebrick, Ronald Jones, Tyrone Creighton, Clarence Monroe, and Jimmy Faison make up an a cappella group that has traveled the world sharing their sound to whoever will listen. CTV's Bryce Parker is in Brandywine with more.
Why can't we fall in love?
You are now listening to DC's Finest, an a cappella group now in their golden years, putting on a sold-out show at the Southern Area Aquatics and Recreation Complex.
We started out in 1985, and we started out, matter of fact, as all police officers at the time.
And one day, while the eventual group members were assigned to the same patrol area,
we didn't have anything to do, and we started singing to keep ourselves busy and found out that some of us could sing. And from there, I kind of like started the initial group of DC's Finest. We got together.
They started by doing gun violence and drug prevention programs for students throughout DC, showing them that cops did more than just arrest people. But it was an unlikely gig that would introduce the group's influence to the world.
We were on Arch Campbell's show, and he named us the Doo-Wop Cops. You know, DC's Finest, the Doo-Wop Cops, and that kind of like stuck with us all through.
So DC's Finest, also known as the Doo-Wop Cops, have performed and opened up for Etta James, Chuck Berry, and have even been able to perform for 2 U.S. presidents.
And as they've traveled the world giving countless performances, it's one that sticks out to Jones the most.
Being able to to sing at Fort Leavenworth, Kansas, with that Buffalo Soldier statue when it was raised up. A lot of kids don't know about the Buffalo Soldiers back in the day and what they did to help bring America to America. And to be able to do that was an extremely, extremely enlightening affair.
And just as they did in 1992, their voices are still reaching the souls of many.
We are having a great time. I mean, the bass, he is off the chain. Yes, he is. But the whole group, the voices are just tremendous, and they blend so well. We are truly enjoying them, and we hope and pray we get to see them again in the very near future.
And to know that they were all former officers, police officers, and this is what they're doing in their retirement years, and they've been doing this for 40 years. It is really amazing, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
And they're looking good, dressing like old school, looking good, a little bit of stepping,
In Brandywine, I'm Bryce Parker, CTV News.
They sound amazing. Bryce, thanks so much. And as years have gone by, some members have passed, others are no longer able to travel and perform, but still, DC's finest lives on. And Montgomery County's history is full of trailblazing women, but when it comes to the county executive position, there's been one clear gap. A recent article suggests despite the county's progressive reputation, no woman has ever been elected county executive, though many neighboring areas like Prince George's County have had female leaders. But as Montgomery County prepares for the 2026 county executive race, questions are being raised. Where are the women candidates? And with council members like Katie Stewart rising to leadership roles, many are wondering if this will be the election cycle that finally sees a woman take the helm. And the federal government has given the green light for 114 wind turbines off Ocean City's coast, a major step in the development of renewable energy. U.S. Wind announced it's received the final permit for its project, which could power over 600,000 homes. However, the project's future is still uncertain. Ocean City is suing to block it, arguing it could hurt the town's economy. And President-elect Trump has vowed to halt such projects on his first day in office. Despite the hurdles, U.S. Wind is celebrating, calling this approval a win for clean energy and local jobs. And the County Fire and EMS Department releases its monthly call stats for November, showing a decrease of nearly 700 unit responses compared to October. In October, the stats came from 52 facilities and 45 stations, but in November, only operating out of the stations alone. The department has faced a shortage of 250 firefighters this year and reallocated 55 firefighters during the summer. The chief told residents last month the department was allowed to hire 150 new firefighters. And Simon Buggs is here with our Wednesday sports page.
That's right, Michaela. You know it's college basketball season, so I have some great highlights in store for today. Stay right there, sports fans. We'll be right back.
You can just keep watching and scrolling, and the world will still feel like it's falling apart.
Widespread missile attacks. Also evacuation in the west.
Or you can take action by joining a movement that's creating real and lasting change instead. Partnering with communities around the globe to help uproot poverty and plant seeds of hope for a brighter tomorrow. Because at World Vision, we believe that no situation is hopeless. Join a movement that's changing the world for good.
Hey there, everyone. You know what time it is. Let's get into it. We begin with a recap of the UMD women's basketball game. The Lady Terps looked to keep their winning streak alive last night as they took the court against Mount St. Mary's. Now it was a slow start offensively for both teams in the first quarter as they struggled to find their shot. But the Lady Terps played on the defensive end like they steal from Sailor Pop and Barger And the shots they did make, like this tough and-one layup from Christina Dolce off of a nice dime from Bree McDaniel, and guard Sarah Tibiazzo, who cooked her defender on her way to making this buzzer beater, helped Maryland go into the second with a 15-8 lead over the Lady Mountaineers. The Lady Terps offensively heated up in the second quarter. This nice finish inside from Allie Quebec coming off of another sweet dime, this time from Cheyenne Sellers. Sellers making another good play, driving baseline for the tough layup, and McDaniel converting on this reverse layup helped Maryland shoot 55% in the quarter. And combine that with the team still playing solid defense like this rejection by Quebec, helped the team go into the half up big, 40-19. Over the next 2 quarters, the Lady Terps lead ballooned even more, and the team walked out of the Xfinity Center with another dub, beating Mount St. Mary's 87-52. Maryland is now 9-0 on the season and will take the court next versus Purdue on Saturday. In other Terp sports news, wide receiver Ty Felton had a breakout year as he gave opposing defenses crazy work this season. And his great play was rewarded as the 21-year-old was named first team All-Big Ten. In 2024, Felton led the Big Ten in receptions with 96 and receiving yards with 1,124. He also finished top 5 in touchdowns with 9. The Virginia native led the conference as well with 5 100-yard receiving games. He was also named a Biletnikoff Award semifinalist recently as well. Congratulations, Ty, on this accolade. It was definitely well-deserved. Meanwhile, the Washington Commanders front office is trying their best to turn this franchise around, and they made another addition to help accomplish this as they named former Campbell Soup CEO Mark Klaus as the team's new president. Klaus will oversee the team's business operations. Commanders owner Josh Harris issued a statement on the hiring of Klaus, saying, quote, "In Mark, we have found a dynamic leader with a stellar track record of guiding organizations to excellence, building brands that connect deeply with customers, and ultimately delivering best-in-class experiences and lasting memories." Klaus will take over for Jason Wright, who was the team's president from 2020 to 2023 before stepping down to work as an advisor for the organization. Moving on to the NBA, the Washington Wizards continue to struggle as they fell yet to another opponent. The Cleveland Cavaliers routed the Wizards 118-87. They will try to get back on the winning side against Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks tomorrow at 7 o'clock. And wrapping up sports, the Washington Capitals lost to the San Jose Sharks last night 2-1. They are now 17-6-2. The Caps will travel north of the border to take on the Toronto Maple Leafs next on Friday.
All right, Simon, so what did you actually like from the Lady Terps in their win yesterday?
Well, Michaela, a couple of things. One, I liked how they realized that because of that outside shot wasn't really falling in the first quarter, they decided, we want to put our heads down, get in the paint, and score that way. And they had a lot of success as they converted a lot of shots in that area. And also, they were a beast on the boards. They had 46 rebounds to Mount St. Mary's 24. And as you know, the more rebounds you get, the more possessions you have, and the more opportunities you have to score. And also, they did a good job of playing defense. They had 28 points off of turnovers, which led to the blowout too. So they're playing good to start the year, and I'm excited to see what they do against Purdue on Saturday.
Absolutely. All right, Simon, thanks so much.
No problem.
And before we go, let's get a look at our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight, we do have a 40% chance of showers. Tomorrow, it'll be 37 degrees, and we have a 30% chance of that S-word snow that I hate, mainly before 7 a.m. Friday will be sunny with a high of 36 and a low of 23. Saturday, we get another sunny day with a high of 41. And finally, let's get a look at our community calendar. This Saturday, the City of College Park is hosting Winter Wonderland, a holiday market and tree lighting. This free community event will feature live music, an appearance by Santa, gingerbread house displays, and the lighting of the city's holiday tree. This event takes place from 2 to 8 p.m. on the plaza at City Hall. But for more information, visit collegeparkmd.gov. And that's all the time we have for CTV News. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Everyone, see you tomorrow.